Thank you, Speaker. My question is for the Minister of Finance. Last Thursday was an exciting day for the people of this province. The Minister of Finance stood in this House and presented our government's first budget, a plan to protect what matters most, a plan to get these young people working, a plan to turn the page and turn the corner after a decade of Liberal mismanagement. Speaker, a plan to deliver relief for families and seniors, and a plan that instills confidence and hope in the future prosperity of this province. To the Minister, could you outline how our government will protect the jobs, protect the pocketbooks of families, and protect what matters most for the people of Ontario?
Questions to the Minister of Finance.
Well, thank you, Speaker, and thank you to the member of King Vaughan for the question and for having us up at the Chamber of Commerce there this morning. Speaker, our government has developed a responsible path back to balance while creating jobs and protecting what values most: health care and education. We are ensuring value for money and putting people first in every decision that we make. This has allowed us to find savings of approximately 8 cents for every dollar spent. Wow. In doing so, we are able to provide $26 billion in much-needed relief to individuals, families, businesses, seniors, and students through our LIFT credit, our CARE credit, and as the Minister of Job Creation said, the Job Creation Investment Incentive. Speaker, we are balancing the budget in a responsible manner without introducing any new tax increases.
Yes, beautiful.
Supplementary.
Thank you, Speaker, and thank you to the Minister for his leadership and for sharing our plan in Vaughan this morning with the Vaughan Chamber of Commerce. Speaker, accountability is at the centre and at the heart of this budget. That is why Budget 2019 proposes the Fiscal Sustainability, Transparency and Accountability Act to ensure political leaders follow through on their word to the people. This act penalizes politicians who break their word to the people. It required the Premier and the Minister of Finance to pay 10% of the ministerial salaries for each missed public reporting deadline as required by law. Minister, accountability has been absent in Ontario's government for too long. Had such a requirement existed, the previous government would have been forced to pay tens of thousands of dollars for missing these deadlines. Our government is ensuring transparency and accountability is for all Ontarians. So to the Minister, could you affirm our sombre commitment to keep our word and deliver on our promises by restoring accountability and trust back in government?
Once again, the Minister of Finance to reply.
Thank you, Speaker. The Premier is offering an ironclad guarantee. As part of the proposed legislation, the Act would include a Premier and a ministerial accountability guarantee. The guarantee would require the Premier and the Minister of Finance to pay 10% of their Premier and ministerial salaries for each missed public reporting deadline. And the Minister would also need to publicly explain why the deadline was missed and when the report would be released. Now, this accountability has been missing for far too long. In fact, had such a guarantee been in place in the previous Liberal government, the previous Premier and the Minister of Finance would have been required to pay a combined $115,000 in fines for their missed deadlines. Our government, Speaker, is committed to putting people first, restoring transparency and accountability in how we spend every single taxpayer's dollar.